sure how it is that a person is supposed to get it out of the face though. Without breaking themselves or their fresh paint job. I guess like that. Okay. Same story. We're just gonna crush it. It's fine. Nobody needs the styrofoam anymore anyway, right? Right. This model is a top load. I really wanted a top load. I'm over front load washing machines. Had a front load since 2016 and I just find that they do not do as much of a good job washing clothes as this does with the agitation in there. So we're gonna switch back to the old school way of doing it and see if it's gonna be better for us or not. Okay, so I know a lot of people don't love Samsung appliances, that there's been some issues with some of the parts and stuff in the past, but honestly, when I was talking to the appliance store, they said everything only comes with a 1-year warranty on it anyway, so spend less money doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get less of a machine or less good of a machine. So I'm cheap. Shocking. And I wanted to go with something that's going to be functional. I wanted an LG set, but they didn't have any in stock. They're sold out. So it's fine. We're going to go with the Samsung. The control panel is very similar to the one that I had on our last front load machine, like literally almost identical to the machine that we had that was over 10 years old, and it was working fine. We had some issues with our dryer burning out elements, and we replaced the elements a few times, and then found that they had an upgraded element, so we switched over to the upgraded element on that machine, and it seemed to be working fine. So hopefully these appliances last us a good long time. Like I said, we bought a 5-year warranty on them, so all parts, all labor. There's no like lemon clause on it, so definitely happy about that. So I'm going to get the washing machine hooked up and then get the dryer pulled in here. Washing machine inlet hoses. Everything is connected back here. We had a leak on the hot water, so that is all fixed up now. And I flushed the lines. Our water here is really hard. We need to get a sediment filter put in. And it seems to be anytime that there is something that's been shut off for a while, the sediment sitting in the line is atrocious. So it was literally like pure orange coming out of there. So flushed all that out. Did not want that in this beautiful new machine, and got it all set up and ready to go. Giant pain in the butt, but everything is connected, and so far it seems that we don't have any leaks. It's probably going to be very orange. Actually, not too bad. Shocking. So it is the next day. Yes, I am wearing the same clothes because I got paint on this yesterday, and I'm not getting paint on any more clothes. So we're finally going to get cracking in here. It's been a really busy day. I did not get as far in here last night as I wanted to. I was only able to get the sanding done and wash the walls, and I was just so beat out I needed to go to bed. So I'm going to get cutting the walls in here. The reason I'm mopping the floor right now, this is a pro tip from a contractor that I learned. If you keep your floor wet while you're painting, any drips that land on the floor won't stick as quickly, so you'll have the chance to go back and be able to wipe it up with a rag. So especially if you're doing a ceiling, like just mop your floor, keep it wet. All those little spackles that come down will go everywhere. So yeah, this is just to preserve the floor from having to peel paint off of it later. This is the hardwood floor in here. So eventually we're probably going to strip it because it's definitely looking a little beat up. But for right now, I don't really necessarily want to be trying to peel a very terracotta colored paint color off of the floor. So we're just gonna keep that down and get set up. I gotta go and find my roller. And kind of earthy, but also something that would have a little bit of cheeriness to it. And typically I gravitate towards doing something like teal, and we're really trying to stay in like a neutral color palette. So this is just like really nice. I'm really liking it a lot. So we're gonna see how it goes on and keep you posted. Accent wall or something, but you know what? It's gonna be fine. I've got some good ideas for in here. So stay tuned. Guys, so trim is still needed and I still need to paint the door, but we're gonna do the trim after Spence gets home. But for right now, she's all put back together and we'll get some decor going in here soon. But for right now, I'm just really happy that this space is functional again. Some areas there, so we will definitely need a full second coat in here, but it's looking very punchy. It's very Arizona cactus, Western terracotta vibes going on in here, but we like it. Let's see if this girl's gonna start this morning. Oh yeah, baby. Good girl. So here goes nothing. We got about 1.5 inches of snow last night. It is solid ice underneath of the snow on the driveway right now. Like, it's icy. So I'm gonna try and get backed up to the truck, or backed up to the trailer, so that we can get loaded up, go to the dump. I have to go to Canadian Tire and pick up a Shelter Logic, and I need to get groceries, and I'd like to go and check out the local butcher shop. Well, it's not really local to us. It's about like 45 minutes away, and see if I can find some beef bones for the dogs, something that we used to get for free. And it's gonna bite a little bit to pay for this. Maybe next year we'll get our own cow. We'll see. So here goes nothing. We're gonna go check out the trailer. I was not gonna take the trailer, but I've got a dump run to do, and I just don't feel like styrofoam flying out of the box of the truck. So I was given very strict instructions to come and check out the tires. Okay, we're good on this side. We've been having some issues with one of the tires wearing on this trailer, so No, we're good. Okay, so I'm gonna get backed up to the trailer once the truck warms up and get hooked on here and go for a little dump run. So I couldn't get the trailer hooked on, not due to incompetence, but because the last time we used it, it was really warm and the roads were really slushy and gross. And so the whole inside of the ball connection point is just full of like frozen, mucky sand. And I used penetrating oil to try and get it free and clear. And the penetrating oil was freezing, so I'm gonna leave that for a warmer day because I don't want to bugger up the hitch on the trailer. And for right now, I just have everything stuffed in the truck to go to the landfill instead. Kind of annoyed because I would have preferred to use the trailer to haul that Shelter Logic home than the truck because our tailgate is currently broken. So it's just challenging. Like, it opens, it's just, it doesn't stay shut, so you have to ratchet it shut. So I'm really hoping that this Shelter Logic is not longer than the box of the truck, or I'm hooped. So time will tell. Thank you. Off the road. Good. That's what we like. I've officially had enough of dealing with shopping today. I'm very sad because I have buggered up the end adapter that goes into my phone for my mic already. I forgot that it was plugged into my phone and I jumped in the truck and broke off the little adapter chippy thing. So I'm gonna have to see if I can order a new adapter somehow on Amazon. We'll see. I'm not gonna lie, I really don't miss having my car, especially when it's so snowy out. I'm sure it's gonna be great, like when the weather is better and stuff, to just be going back around grabbing stuff that we need here and there, but I really got so used to driving my truck for work every single day, and always had a truck before. We had the Jeeps. Like, it's always such an adjustment going back to driving the car, and it's still in Alberta, so we're gonna have to go back for it eventually, but I'm not missing it. I'm not missing it. I'm really enjoying having the diesel. Sorry, honey. So we have one coat on and I am finishing up cutting in the second coat right now. Picked up just a little one to kind of finish it off in here. So it's coming along. I think it's gonna look really nice when it's all finished, but we'll see. I'm pleasantly optimistic. So the lighting definitely needs an upgrade in here, and I think that that'll. So, go ahead and do another little story time here. So purchasing this property was a very interesting scenario for us. Basically, we put an offer in on it and satisfied our conditions, which was confirmation from the bank that we would have financing, a home inspection, water potability test, and insurance. So we got all of that stuff sorted out. Our financing was contingent on the sale of our previous home. So we had to wait for the conditions on our offer to be removed so that it could actually be deemed as sold in order to go forward with this. And since this property is a foreclosure, basically what happens is when you put an offer in, the repossessing bank either accepts or denies the offer through a lawyer and an accompanying agent. And then if your offer is successful, you get booked for a court date. So we got all of that done and very luckily got the last court date of the year for this area. And actually, because of weather and stuff like that, they were compiling several court kind of proceeding demographic areas into the same courthouse where we went to buy this house. So when you purchase a foreclosure, the judge gets the file and they look it over and everything before the court. And you don't know until the gavel goes down if it's going to be your house or not. So I drove up here the 14-ish hours by myself with Kenzie to come and sit in court in a town that's further away from where the house actually is, to see if we were going to be able to buy this house. And you don't know if on that day somebody else is going to walk up with a cash offer to present to the judge. So we were sitting there, I say we, because our real estate agent was with me, and the judge was, happy with the way that everything was done, because they have to provide like a fair marketing report. They have to provide all the details on the listing and how many inquiries there were, how many text messages there were, how many showings there were, all of that stuff. And so we kind of get down to it, and the judge says, is there any competing offers in the room? I'm like holding my breath so much at this point in time, and there was none. So the gavel got slammed down and she was sold. So the real fun thing then about foreclosures, and now bear in mind, we weren't buying this house as a cash deal. We had to get rid of our other house in order to do the financing on this. Just the way that it worked out this time. Last time we bought a house, we carried 2 mortgages for 6 months, and we didn't want to do that again. So we did our financing differently. And so we had 10 days is what the court proceedings are in British Columbia for vacant properties to close and take possession of the property. So when I say we really did not have time to make a big production about leaving our last community, I mean it. Like, can't even explain how crazy fast it all had to happen. We needed to get an extension on that 10 days, so I think we ended up with 15 days instead. That was, why did we do that now? to get an extension. It's been such a whirlwind the past couple of weeks that I don't even remember a lot of the details anymore. So we got that all said and done, and then of course we went to go and contact insurance because we had an insurance quote and we were told it was going to be very similar to what we were already paying on our last acreage, and it came back about 2.5 times more than what we were already paying. So we had to scramble to get insurance really quickly because bank will not like close the mortgage until your money is, or so your insurance is bound. So we scrambled to get insurance. We got insurance and everything closed, and we started the crazy ass move across. So we had several storage units because there was no time to dilly-dally when it came to getting everything moved from our place out here. We were really hoping that we were going to be able to move everything directly here and not have to get storage, but our bank that we were dealing with has been wonderful to deal with. And unfortunately, they went through a merger recently, and we're no longer going to be offering new mortgages in British Columbia and no longer going to be offering bridge loans. So we had everything set up to have a bridge loan on this property to be able to like have the down payment come out of our sale proceeds, close this property on December 1st, be able to take possession, be able to be out of our other house by December 5th. And that all fell apart very rapidly when the bank all of a sudden calls us one day and goes, guess what? We actually can't do the bridge loan anymore. So the scramble was on then to try and figure out how the hell we were going to come up with a down payment, and the only way that we were able to make things happen instead was to be able to change our closing date on this property to be the same as our other house. So needless to say, it was a real scramble. So we left our previous property, I think it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. We loaded horses, loaded dogs, loaded the last of the stuff out of the house, and started the drive across. It is usually, with the trailers, it was about 15 hours. With trailers and a snowstorm, it was just over 20 hours. And when we got here, our keys were not here, and we were just fit to be tied from the drive, so we ended up breaking into the house the first night, which was fine anyway, because come to find out that the property management company had actually accidentally locked the power toggle on the door, and nobody knew what the code was. They just were using a key to get in and out. So that was frustrating. So we had to break into the house at, I don't know, 11 o'clock at night. So by the time everything was all said and done, the horses were offloaded, dogs were offloaded, and we had an air mattress set up in the house. It was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So it was a whirlwind adventure, to say the least. I wish I would have documented more of that drive and stuff, but the roads were so bad that we were only able to do 70 across, and we were driving with our hazards on. It was just sheer ice. Both of us were hauling a ton of weight. Spence had the Coyote on behind the truck. I had the horses in the trailer, a back seat full of dogs, a front seat full of dogs. He had the dog and the cat in the cab of his truck. It was just a nightmare. So I will apologize now to anybody that we didn't get a chance to say goodbye to. I don't do goodbyes well at all anymore, and I think it's because we've moved so often in the last 10 years. And I get so emotionally attached to people that it's difficult for me to say goodbye. It feels so cinematic. It feels so end, you know, and I always prefer to see you later in hopes that people will come and visit instead. So apologize if you're somebody that is feeling a little bit ticked off at us right now for not saying goodbye, but it's kind of been a whirlwind, and I don't really know how else to explain what it's like to pack up your entire life and a small farm and move it across Canada again in the middle of winter on icy roads through mountain passes with very, very limited time off work to do it. So that's kind of the story of how we got this place. I don't know if anybody enjoys my story times or not, but it's a good way for me to just, I guess, talk through what's going through my mind while I'm doing projects like these. So stay tuned for another story time.